Wave. Welcome to Boyer Bulldogs podcast. Today on the show, we have updated TV schedule for Fresno State football, Klassy press conference, basketball and baseball commits, and a little fun with EA Sports college football rankings. Let's do it. Thank you for being here. We're your hosts, Caleb Nail and Caleb Pletz. As always, Monday at 7 p.m. You can find us live on X at Beware_Bulldogs and on YouTube, Beware of Bulldogs. We're here to talk Fresno State. We are getting amped up for college football season because that's what's next on my sports calendar. So, first off, let us know where you're from down below in the chat, where you're enjoying the show from, what beverage you're enjoying the show with. Mr. Pletz, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing well. I definitely agree with you. I'm getting the college football itch. I mean, we're always looking forward to it. But, yesterday I found myself watching some Canadian football on TV. And, obviously not the same as NFL or college. But it was, just how it had to hold me over because now we're in July. We're like, okay, we can kind of see the season is on the horizon. I mean, granted, Fresno State is like one of the last teams to always start fall practice, like middle of August, it seems. So we're still a month plus away from actually seeing, some activity from the team. But still, football is on the horizon, and it's fun that we have some football stuff to talk about today. So look forward to it.
I can't believe 4th of July week, you're watching Canadian sports. What is going on?
It was the only football on TV, but I'll be honest, I did not watch the UFL at all. So I guess that was an option in the spring, but I just can't get into a non-NFL professional league.
Yeah, I mean, CFL, Bull was the number one pick overall, at left tackle a couple years ago. And then UFL, Adrian Martinez, the Clovis West quarterback. He won finals MVP. I don't know what they call it, but MVP of their Super Bowl deal.
Even in CFL too. I mean, Eric Brooks has been doing pretty well, and Carrick Weefall is up there playing too. So got a couple dogs to keep an eye on, and I think Travis Brown is on a coaching staff somewhere up there too. I don't remember which one. There's only like 8 teams, but they all kind of blend together.
Yeah, like I said earlier today, we're talking Garrett Klassy, Fresno State football TV schedule, baseball and basketball commits, and then we're going to end it with some EA Sports college football. The video games coming out. They released their rankings, and we're going to rip them apart. It'll be fun. Bulldogs Bob is here. What's going on, Bob? Good to see you. He thinks the CFL is fun to watch with all the former Bulldogs in it. I agree. Caleb, let's start with the Klassy press conference. I put out there to the world asking the Red Wave, I should say, what they wanted to see in the press conference. So I'm going to ask the same question to you with something added. So what did you want to see from the Klassy press conference? I know it's really hard to get stuff out of those press conferences, but what did you want to see? And then what is your takeaway from it?
In simple terms, I wanted to see that the AD is competent and can handle himself in front of media, and also articulate a vision. So granted, he was kind of hesitant to really say anything concrete in terms of what his goals were, but I do think that he hit those two. He seemed competent, and President Sandoval was very complimentary of him. I mean, he should be. He was the one that hired him. So if he wasn't raving about him, that would be a bad sign. But he seemed like he was able to answer the questions, and seemed like he is going to put his own spin on a vision to elevate Fresno State, which I'm sure they're going to rebrand that. But I do think that it was positive, so we can get into that more. But what were you looking for from the Klassy conference?
I'm always looking for something controversial. No, I'm just kidding. No, same as you. I just want to see how they carry themselves because we all know we're not going to get much meat out of these other than here's who I am. Let's go win. That's head coaches, ADs. So I only have positive things to say about Klassy. I'm excited for him, and he seems like he's ready to go to work and take on the task of fundraising. Really, I feel like that's what the ADs do nowadays. So,
definitely. I think that something funny that I noticed was his tone and really highlighting the fact that he wants to run the athletic department like a business, which I haven't really ever heard anyone say that before, because I feel like up until now, there was still kind of the quasi wanting to protect the athlete or the student and the student athlete. But I mean, I only listened to about half the press conference, so maybe I missed it, but I didn't really hear him refer to academics at all. So someone correct me if he did, but it was very much focused on help the athletes build a brand and help the university figure out how to make more money and improve stuff and run it more efficiently. So I thought that was kind of a change that I see positive. I mean, at least he's not lying about, oh yeah, we really care about these kids graduating when, no, we care about making money and, maybe getting to a better conference. So I thought that was kind of refreshing, honestly.
I like it. I'm all about it. He has the experience with Nebraska, who's got the biggest fan base in the world. So he knows how to run that type of business and fundraise. Granted, it's probably easier in Nebraska, but he knows what's effective. Same with Houston. So I'm excited, as we should be after every first press conference. That's how it's going to be. There's the most dangerous word in the English language, potential. There's a ton of potential. Nothing has happened yet, but there's a ton of potential. Kerry Hayward's here. He's got a great resume. Bulldogs Bob, he says the same thing. Everyone has a good opening presser. He hasn't failed yet. So, and the farming background comes into play. Sandoval mentioned he was on a dairy, which if you haven't grown up on a dairy, it's miserable. I didn't grow up on a dairy, but I spent a couple nights with the Amish in Pennsylvania, and they have cows. I don't know how they do it every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be a kind of smelly upbringing and definitely tough. I mean, I know it's long, grueling hours, and especially if it's a smaller operation, then I'm sure it's all hands on deck for the family.
No days off. Every morning, the cow has to be milked. Every morning. I don't know if Klassy did that every morning, but he knows what goes into it, knows the hard work. Bulldogs Bob says Klassy needs to go on a Central Valley tour as soon as possible, shake hands, kiss babies in every city and town, not just Fresno, Clovis area. I agree. He needs to go to Mendota, all the way down to Mendota. He needs to go up to Modesto, Merced area. I think I agree with you, Bob. He needs to do all of that. Kiss all the babies. I don't know. I'm not going to let him kiss my baby, but he could shake my hand. That's fine. He says Huron. Yeah, make them feel like Bulldogs are their team too. Yeah, all those towns. Greg Lopez, Klassy seems like a grassroots AD. I agree. One of the things that comes up came up in my life as my dad raised us on the farm is you're going to start from the bottom. You're going to learn how to do everything from the bottom and work your way up. Granted, the farm went to poop real quick, but maybe that was my fault. But but I'm a firm believer in that as well. Klassy seems like he gets that. He's going to starting from the bottom, as in he's getting to know everyone in the program. He's understanding the culture in Fresno. Let's go to Huron and Mendota and talk to the people out there and get to build this fan base back to what it used to be. So I'm excited, as we all should be. So Klassy seems like a great guy, and we got to get him some wine soon because I saw some photos of him drinking wine. Anything else on Klassy, Caleb, before we move on?
Maybe I'll throw a question your way. A couple of his stops have been shorter, tenure. Like he was only at Houston for about a year. So, I mean, is there any concern that this is just a stepping stone job? And, if maybe he sees, okay, maybe Power 4 conference isn't possible here for Fresno State, I better get out soon. So is there any concern about him leaving quickly?
I think that's always a concern at Fresno State. And I know some people don't like to say it, but I'm just being honest. We are now a stepping stone school. That's just how it is. I mean, DeBoer, really, he's Kirby Moore. That's unless you are an alumni or near the end of your career. That's the honest truth. Klassy, however, if his goal was to be an AD, well, he's here now. So, but anybody that's successful at Fresno State is going to get big P4 offers and a lot of money thrown their way, and it's going to be hard to turn it down. So, my answer would be probably be here short term if he's successful. Otherwise, I mean, if he's mediocre, he'll be here for a long time, and hopefully, if we're going to bowl games every year or winning championships, I don't know, maybe that. I would say probably because I am going to say that he's going to be successful and get poached.
Right. I think one of the things we do have going for us is he has small kids, so maybe they fall in love with the area and they want to raise their family here, and so that keeps them around. But Bob makes a good point in the chat that typically it's an indication of someone doing a good job if they are trying to get hired away, like you mentioned too. So,
right. Yeah, I hope he's here for the long haul. Start founding quarterback clubs in towns like Hanford, Porterville, and Madera. We're working on it on the West Coast, Bob. We had a meeting. I can't remember when it was. It's been we need to do another one out in Kerman, Biola area. So we got to do it again. Okay, let's talk some football. Kind of. It was released today that the Mountain West is teaming up with TNT, HBO Max, and True TV. And they updated the Fresno State TV times. So here's the three. We get New Mexico State at home at 7:30. We go to New Mexico to play the Lobos. That kickoff is at 5:30 in Albuquerque. And then at home versus San Jose State, 5 p.m. kickoff. That is October 26th, the 5 p.m. kickoff against San Jose State. And the channels are, once again, TNT Sports, True TV, and HBO Max. What do you think about this? The channels first. What do you think about the channels?
It's unconventional. I don't think I've ever watched football on True TV, which I think is where those three games are slated for the Dogs. But I mean, I appreciate that the conference is doing what they can to keep our games on cable rather than exclusively streaming. So, but also having the HBO Max component, I think, is good too. So, yeah, I'm glad that they're doing something and not just kind of sitting around and hoping that Fox or CBS picks up additional games and pays a little bit more money. So, I think that Commissioner Navarez is creating value within the conference, and especially with having Washington State and Oregon State for the next 2 seasons, with scheduling partnership. So I think that's got to help and add a little bit of value to the games that are available. So overall, I think it's a good thing, and I'm sure it's a shorter term deal to kind of line up with when some of the other contracts are expiring in a couple of years when there might be some more realignment, but. Overall, I think it's good, and I think the Dogs still have a couple games yet to be announced if they're going to be on TV. So, still a little bit more news that can be coming from this too.
What do you think about these 5:30, 5 o'clock kickoff times?
I mean, a home game 5:30 in the fall, like late October, I think is going to be nice. If that was in September. That would be too hot and not good. So I think it's kind of fun. I mean, I can't remember a 5:30 home kickoff game that wasn't only on like local like CW or something. So this one's actually on cable. So yeah, I think that'll be different. And I know one of our chief complaints throughout the years has been really late kickoffs being hard for families with young kids. And I mean, now I'm in that boat too, with you, that, I mean, I don't know if my son's going to be able to go to a game this year, just because of, bedtimes at, 7:00. So, yeah, I think that's kind of a fun change, and, we'll see, if that continues.
I think it will, and I think it should. I'm glad that you get to experience what I went through last year with with the baby.
Yes.
But the other reason I like this is because the 5:00 kick is 8:00 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too late. Where, in the Bible Belt, they're going to bed they got to get up for church in the morning, but they'll stay up late, but not that late. But if we get a kickoff at 8, the whole nation's going to be watching us.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. And I mean, they're not, to be honest, they're not attractive opponents for the rest of the country, like a Fresno State versus New Mexico game. I wouldn't say it's the most attractive game on the TV slate, but we're there. And college football fans are going to be watching. So I think it's really good for the brand, the Fresno State brand. I'm excited. And it's fun. My goal is to get, TNT on NBA with Ernie Johnson, Shaq, Charles Barkley. They're not doing it anymore. They need something to do. Why don't you come over and call Mountain West football games? I think that would be pretty fun.
That would be hilarious. And yeah, I think for, the still regional college football fans, like Fresno State versus San Jose State, I mean, that's a game that a lot of like diehard college football fans, I mean, they've watched that game for a long time. So to have that be available on cable where people can watch it all over the country, I think that's going to be important. Yeah.
In the chat, Bulldogs Bob, he loves this deal that the Mountain West Conference signs. Good job, Gloria. We have a smart, driven commissioner. I agree. We got those vibes. Talking to her when she first came on, but she's passionate and ready to go. So I'm excited. Now, it's going to be tough, though, to hold it all together with everything going on, the amount of money thrown around. Bulldog Stadium will be rocking when an undefeated and ranked Bulldogs team hosts the Spartans. TNT will sing the praises of the Red Wave.
Let's go. I love that confidence, Bob. I'm right there with you.
All right. Oh, and it looks like NBA on TNT has one more year left on the contract. So, all right, we get Ernie next year then. That's fine. I can live with that. Some things that have happened in the recruiting world, Caleb, in the baseball and basketball worlds, I should say. Basketball got their last commit. I got to pull up his name. So Makan Diouf. And they say he's a 7-footer, European, or came from Europe, was playing in Europe, I believe. I'm hearing that this guy has the potential, there's that dangerous word again, to be a Mountain West first-team player. So there's a lot of people really excited about him. I haven't seen, to be honest, I sat down to get ready and saw everything. So I haven't seen any highlights of him, but I'm looking at the comments and people are stoked about him. I believe that's our last scholarship that we had. So the entire roster's here. I saw videos and I know they're in the gym playing. So they're working on chemistry. I'm really excited about basketball. We've mentioned it, I think, every episode for the past 2 months, just because we've had recruits rolling in probably the last 3 months. So I'm excited. It looks like we have a squad that we can get behind and cheer. A couple guys that we know that played last year. So, I mean, I'm excited for this team. I think the Valley is going to really get behind this team because it's new faces, a new culture, and really, I say new, but really an old face at coach that we know. I'm excited for this basketball team. Any thoughts, Caleb, on the Diouf commit?
Seems like, seems like another high quality recruit brought in. I mean, we like that he has size. That was something that the Dogs were lacking last year. Was some guys to play the bigs. So now, the bad thing is it's a long time until basketball season. So these guys are going to be practicing, and we got to figure out how to keep all these guys healthy, because that was another one of the just plagues of last season's team is showing up and only having 7 healthy guys to suit up. So hopefully conditioning and strength training is going well, and everyone is staying healthy, because that's going to be important. But a lot of I guess things to speculate about. I mean, we have no idea what the starting lineup is going to look like, and how the offense is going to be run. I like the fact that we have good size, good athleticism, but just a whole lot of unknown. So it'll be fun to kind of see things develop. And once practices are open to media, maybe we get a little bit more info on what the team's actually going to look like.
One quick basketball thing, Caleb, really quick. And by the way, it looks like Kerry has seen this film, and he says it is excellent. So that excites me. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I saw Tyrese Halliburton, plays for the Pacers, on a podcast, talk about this. He talks about depth perception when shooting, right? And we talk about this in the basketball world a lot, but you don't hear it in other places. But you practice, like our team practices in the North Gym, I believe, right? So you got walls everywhere. Then you go in the Save Mart Center, this massive arena with a glass backboard. It literally looks like a little bowl that you're shooting into. You see there's stands in the back. The depth perception's off, right? So that's why the great shooters are that good, because it's all feel. I got to chalk it up, our poor shooting, Caleb, to that. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to over the past couple of years.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think the team has some practices in the season at the Save Mart Center.
They do. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. So yeah, it's good to have that as an excuse in the back pocket, I guess. But we don't need to rely on excuses. I think that Wahlberg and company is going to get this thing turned around.
Well, with the guys that Wahlberg is bringing in and the style of play that he implements, we're gonna get a lot of layups and open threes. So I'm not worried about it. And those open threes, when you're open, shoot. My grandma can shoot when she's open. So there you go. Bulldogs Bob does have a quick question, because there was news surrounding a Fresno State player in the pros. Paul George left the Clippers and went to the 76ers. I don't watch too much NBA until the playoffs. And all I know is that the Kawhi and Paul George experiment failed. It didn't go well. Both of them were injured, it seems like, all the time. I just want to see Paul George have some success, but in the off season. Let's go win some trophies. Let's get Paul George some trophies. That's what I'm hoping for. Anything on the Paul George signing, Caleb?
No, I mean, I'm assuming Pennsylvania's taxes are a little bit lower than California, so maybe he's saved a little bit of money, because I imagine probably half of his contract is going to Gavin Newsom. So maybe that's a positive for him. Yeah,
there you go. I'm sure it is. Yeah. What's happening on the diamond? We had, I believe, 2 come in this week.
Yeah, recently, one today too. So Ryan Overland and company getting active in the transfer portal for college baseball. So a couple days ago, I got a commitment from a kid out of Bakersfield, Drew Townsend, who supposedly was infielders converted to being a right-handed pitcher and is throwing low 90s, which is definitely good. I know that that's something that seemed like Fresno State was lacking compared to some of the teams that were playing in the postseason. Is you look at these guys. I mean, granted they're SEC teams, but all their guys are coming out of the bullpen throwing like 95 to 100. So if we can get some more arms in there that are throwing hard, I think that is definitely going to help us. So local kid out of Bakersfield transferring in. I think he's a junior, so he's got maybe 2 years left. And then another addition today was announced, transfer from Washington State, but local, Turlock. Fresno State's had a lot of successful players from Turlock over the years. Griffin Sotomayor, he's a catcher. So limited playing time last year. I think only hit like 133, appeared in 17 games, did hit a home run. So it makes sense. Dogs losing Tyler Davis to graduation this year. So we'll see how he's able to compete with Justin Stransky, who really was pushing Davis toward the end of the year for playing time. So still seems like Stransky is going to be the guy, but good to have that depth and competition behind him.
What do you think about Overland bringing in all these local guys? I mean, I feel like every recruit has been local.
I think that's just part of the brand, and especially seeing the success for that. A guy like Eddie Saldivar had last year. A local guy transferring back and having a huge season and being successful as a starter. So I think that helps with the marketing and recruiting pitch to these guys, and say, look, hey, this is how we're building our team, is local guys that want to play hard and play because they love the game and not playing because they're going to get a big check at Arkansas. So.
I like it. Bulldogs Bob got fireworks today at a stand where Fresno State commit Marcus Nolan was at. Big guy. Always seems to like players with size. After watching Aaron Judge and seeing his size, I'm going to argue for size. I'm with you. I'm with Ovi.
Confirmed. Might be easier to be powerful when you're big.
Yeah. And Murph's not a small guy either. I was going to say, Aaron Judge, he's on pace for, I believe, is he on pace for 70 some homers or more than that? He is crushing the ball right now. Taylor Ward is also crushing the ball. I believe I saw a stat. They have hit home runs on the same night 8 times this season.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Judge is tearing it up. I think he's a leader in the Triple Crown. Like, has the highest batting, at least for the American League, like highest batting average, highest home runs, and highest number of RBIs. So that's stellar, to say the least. The
dude's amazing, and he's a freak of nature. He's huge. So Ovi, keep bringing them in, man. We love the Giants. They're good. Bulldogs, I keep saying it. The Valley is as rich as a baseball-rich area as anything else in the country. We keep top-level talent here. We should be the best team in the Mountain West Conference every year. I agree. And do damage in the regionals. Yep. I mean, it wasn't so long ago where we had a Buchanan school ranked number 1 in the country, I believe. Mm-hmm. I mean, the track was very good. Now South Valley's kicking butt in baseball. So I'm with you. The Valley is where baseball players are bred. Let's keep bringing them in. All right, Caleb. Shorter show today, since it is recruiting season. I don't want to say off season, but it's recruiting season for everybody. Signing NIL deals for everybody. I want to get to the college football game that's coming out because it's been a point of discussion in the sports community is the college community, sports community, I should say, because this game, the video game, they put together the rankings of different things, and it's kind of ridiculous. I'm going to start with the toughest places to play. Mm-hmm. Number 1 was Kyle Field, Texas A&M. By the way, Bulldogs Bob, I see you. First week of the season, the week before the game, we will have a get-to-know with someone from Michigan. Kyle Field, Texas A&M, Alabama 2, LSU 3, Ohio State 4, Georgia 5. I'm fine with all those, except for Texas A&M at 1. I don't think that's the toughest place to play. I don't exactly know what they took into effect to rank this, but what I wanted to talk about, Caleb, was there was one G5 school in the top 25, and that is Albertson Stadium, Boise State. What do you think about Albertson's being on this list of toughest places to play?
It's tough to see, and I think we both have strong objections to this. I think that to be on this list, you have to be consistent in your attendance in terms of like being a ruckus crowd that makes it tough for an opponent. And I mean, over the last like several years, Boise State's attendance has been not as consistent as it was like Chris Peterson era. So I think that maybe they're giving them the benefit of the doubt and saying, okay, we've been gone for 11 years, from not having this game. And, we still want to give some respect to, one of the OG like BCS busters. So that was the only way I could justify it in my head. But I mean, current day, I mean, no chance. There's got to be tougher G5 places to play, and I would definitely put Bulldog Stadium up there when the Dogs are winning and when Boise State comes to town, or a bigger name opponent comes to town. So tough to see, but I could kind of see their logic, I guess. But what were your thoughts?
When it comes to video games, and especially sports video games, they make them every year. Right? Other than this college football game, this is the first since 2013, but it was NCAA 14, but it was made in 13.
Yep.
And so my thought process is, if you're going to do this, it's got to change every year, right? Because every year, different places are tougher to play than others because some teams stink. Nobody shows up. Like I would argue, I think a lot of people would say Nebraska is a tough place to play. Well, they weren't very good last year. They're going to be better this year. They weren't good, so I want to put them on this list. Like Auburn, South Carolina, sure, SEC country, or Virginia Tech, but they get beat at home all the time, and then their attendance reflects that. I think like Autzen Stadium was 11, Oregon. That place is extremely hard to play. It's packed all the time. They're good. They're at 11. I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know. I know it should be higher. But when it comes to Boise, they need to update this every year. When you host a Mountain West championship, it should be full. Well, why isn't it full? And I put this out on my personal big mistake because it got flooded with Boise fans coming in just roasting me on coming after me. And I mean, people were having conversations for days in there. I had my notifications going crazy, and it's just two guys going back and forth. But look, it's not that tough place to play for Fresno State. I'll put it that way. I think I agree with you. I think they gave this because of what Chris Peterson and Zabransky and the Moore brothers did over there. Kellen Moore. I think it's because of them, and they got this ranking. Real quick, Carrie says lazy reporting in that article.
or it's just smart, and they're trying to get engagement from fans to get people hyped up for their game.
That I highly agree with that, and we're going to touch on that in a second. Bulldogs Bob says maybe in their Peterson glory years, they were really tough place to play. But since Teddy's been here, no. I do want to say, and actually, well, Bob beat me to it. So I'm going to say Mountain West Conference title game was in Fresno in 2013. Still the highest attended title game in Mountain West Conference history. End of story. Done. That's what we need to know. So I think that was against Utah State.
That sounds right.
We wore black that game.
Yeah, we were
trying to remember. It was one of the blackout games. All right. Let's get to, we're going to run through offensive power rankings really quick because offense is interesting. This is by the way, this is what they think of. It was against Utah State. Perfect. What they think of incoming offenses for the season. Georgia, 1. No problem there. Oregon, 2. Bama, 3. Texas, 4. Ohio State, 5. There's your top 5. Outliers, maybe. You can argue these. Miami, 7. Cam Ward's there, I guess. Well, LSU is 6. They have a new Nussmeier. He got beat out by Jaden Daniels. Now he's there. But number 8 is Colorado. Kev, I don't know about you, but Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, they're good. But I also saw they had a lot of guys leave in the transfer portal. They brought in a lot of guys. They also gave up a ton of sacks. Like we complained about the O-line at Fresno State. Colorado has problems. They brought in a bunch of guys. But does this warrant an 89 overall offense, number 8 in the country?
There is no way. I mean, this was just for hype, which I don't blame them for doing this, but this is ridiculous. I mean, I think Fresno State's offensive line was better than Colorado's last year, which is embarrassing for them. So, I mean, unless they found 5 Travis Hunters to also play offensive line, there's no way that this is going to work out for Colorado. So, we'll see. I mean, unless having kind of like the old games where, I mean, if you have a fast quarterback and you can run the option well, and maybe they just run the option with Shador and Travis, and we won't put them at running back or something. I mean, maybe if they're just thinking, okay, cheat code and go that route with running your offense, maybe, but no, seems very, very wrong.
I agree. They do like Cam Rising. Utah's 11. When it comes to G5, Memphis is the highest ranked offense at 19. I believe they are the only G5 school because SMU and UCF are not G5 anymore.
Correct. SMU is in the ACC now, and UCF, I believe, is in the Big 12.
Yes. So Memphis is 19th in the country, and I think that's pretty deserving. They have some good players there. When it comes to defense, there are 0 G5 schools with a top 25 defense in the game. I can't speak to that much, but the other thing that I can speak to is that Colorado is 20.
Well, I guess if they're counting on Travis Hunter playing both ways and he's a 99 overall both ways, then maybe that's just skewing the total ranking.
Bulldogs Bob asks, why on earth is Memphis getting all this love? Is FedEx funding them? Yes, they are funding them. And I think it's their quarterback, Seth Hennigan. I think he's pretty good. And then just all the running backs that they've put in to the NFL, I'm sure they're banking on that. I don't know much about their offense other than Seth Hennigan. And I do like Hennigan. So I'm guessing that's why. Any idea, Caleb, about Memphis? Any thoughts?
I really haven't read or watched much about them, other than I know that a lot of national media are kind of going between them and Liberty as being the potential G5 representative in the college football playoff. So, yeah, that's about my extent of the knowledge there.
Last thing on the defensive side, I thought this was kind of fun. Number 16, USC.
That was the one thing that stood out to me too. Like there's no way Lincoln Riley finally figured out how to coach defense, and they got everyone on the same page. Like there's no way.
Oh, yeah. It was the coach. Big difference when you make a change at coach, I guess. All of a sudden, you're top 20 in the country.
All of a sudden, you get tough and can stop the run.
Yeah. So that puts the total overall team power rankings: Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Oregon 3, Bama 4, Texas 5. I am totally fine with that top 5. I thought they got it right there. Colorado 16 overall in the country, 16th best team. USC 19. I don't know. I mean, Miller Moss was good in the bowl game, but is he going to be that good? I don't know. Can their defense figure it out? I don't think they're deserving of a 19. Virginia Tech 20. If people didn't know this, I think Virginia Tech returns the most production on both sides of the ball, or top 5 in the country in terms of production on both sides of the ball. Then NC State at 21. And then way down at the bottom, 25, Iowa. There are no G5 schools top 25. Anything that stood out to you, Caleb?
Arizona at 23. Brent Brennan, formerly of San Jose State, that's a pretty high mark for them. But I do think he did a decent job of retaining players there after Jed Fish hopped over to Washington. So that's kind of an interesting development, Mountain West connection to monitor. And also Kansas at 22. I mean, historically, Kansas has kind of always been the butt of the Big 12. So to see them, and they're actually a pretty good program now in real life. So
Right.
very, very strange to keep having that reinforced.
Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss at 15. I think they're a little low. Jackson Dart, they could be pretty big, pretty good. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the SEC, so I'm cheering for the West Coast schools. WTF, Lincoln Riley doesn't acknowledge the existence of defense.
Very true.
So that's it when it comes to EA rankings. I think Fresno State hopefully is close behind because there's no reason we shouldn't be. Returning quarterback. Our coaching staff is the same. We have big time transfers coming in. I think Fresno State's right there. So, but it's a video game, so it's fake.
Yep, it is. I mean, I think that Fresno State's pretty much always like a 78 overall. That's usually what they made them. I mean, even the last year of the game with Derek and Devontae and a stacked offense, I think we were only like 84 overall. So, the game ranking doesn't matter.
Right. We're gonna take him. We're gonna win it with them anyways, so it's fine.
That's right.
Don't root for the West Coast Traders who went to the Big Ten. Really, Bob? Okay, I'll try. I know it's hard. I want to cheer. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cheer for West Coast kids. I want to do that.
Okay.
But that play for West Coast teams. But the West Coast kids that go and make a bunch of money over in the SEC, it just grinds my gears, man. I'm happy for them. This is a selfish thing, but if you could play, you could play. And I want you to play over here to represent the West.
Well, the first 11 weeks of the season, I'm going to be cheering for UCLA because I'd much rather beat the 9-2 Bruin team than a 5-7 team that's quit on their brand new head coach.
That's true. I can get behind that. All right, Caleb. That's all I have for today. Is there anything else that has come up? I was going to look at the USA soccer, but it looks like we're not doing too hot over there. So I hope we're not ruining it for anybody. Anything else, Caleb, that you got?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered it. We are in the dog days of summer here, so news is going to be a little bit slow until we can kind of get some football summer info. But yeah, another solid week.
Yeah, it's been good, man. Well, everybody, happy 4th of July. Have a great time. Please be safe. If you can't swim and you're near water, just please don't go in the water. Fireworks, be smart. Don't blow off your fingers. We don't need any JPPs around here.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to have all your fingers. So please be safe around those two things. But eat all the hot dogs you can. Drink a bunch of ice cold beer or wine. And we will see you guys next week at 7 p.m. Stay safe. Stay healthy. God bless you guys. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.